Welcome to another painting tutorial. This was the second in the Dark Eldar series, and this one I'm going to show you how I painted up two Venom Transports. So here's one, and did another one as well. I didn't put any of the riders on the side or the posts in the back. I'm probably going to do those at a later point. I'm just trying to get these guys, an army together, so I can get these guys on the tabletop as quickly as possible. But also trying to do a really nice paint job. So I started out by airbrushing them. So I used the new GW paints inside my airbrush. I watered them down about 50-50. So I started out with the Cabalite green, which is the dark green, and then progressively airbrushed on the highlights. So I actually started with a black spray paint base, did the whole base coat, and then with the sort of the medium green, used the airbrush to kind of paint around the edges here. Any of the edges as well as any of these panel lines here, and tried to just try to accentuate some of these surfaces. And you see a little bit more. So you see the Cabalite green, Saprite green, and trying to get sort of a highlight along here, along this edge, along these the engines, that sort of thing. And as you can see, I did a whole whack of stuff all at once. So I've got 4 Raiders here, 2 Venoms, and then all the crew that go along with it. I also have some other stuff ready to go for another batch of airbrushing, but for now that's all I've airbrushed. So I think next up is probably going to be some witches, and then these transports. Anyways, here's kind of what it looks like on the table, or on my painting bench now. So you can kind of see these colors. It didn't do the greatest job going there. It's not quite perfectly straight, but that's what happens when you're freehand. So I'm going to doing the base coats here. So I've got gold. I chose to do the mask gold. I got some gold back here, and then some silvers. And these witches are just going to be the same paint scheme as the warriors, and still using the same paints as the GW guide. Bit more detail underneath here. So some silvers there. Didn't do a whole lot of detail on some of the stuff on the underside because you're never going to see it. And that guy isn't, or girl isn't actually glued there. I'm just placing it there just to see how it's going to go. So all the base colors here on the arms and the armor. Actually got some washes on there now. Now I'm painting on all the things for the different canopies. So you'll notice that these two Venoms, I basically did the opposite combination of options. So one's got the full canopy, the other one's going to have a half canopy. One's got sort of the trophy racks along the sides. The other one's got whatever the other thing is. And but they both have the splinter cannon underneath. So working up some of the highlights on this. Some silver in there. Got the washes. So this is again with the witch flesh. It's the flesh wash first, and then a dark brown, or actually sorry, dark blue wash. Ends up being kind of this muddy kind of color there, and surprisingly works out quite well when you put on the pallid witch flesh highlight. Just try to put that on to blend it a bit, and you're really doing very little layering. You're almost just doing all the blending with that one color. Okay, just test fitting this to see if these colors match up, and they don't, even though they're the same colors, but it's close enough. I think it'll look okay. Out of focus, sorry, but so you can see there's the witch flesh being painted on there, and doing a quick job of the guy inside here with some short sleeves and gloves on. Again, not so much detail on some of these things, but enough to suggest that it's all there. Okay, and again, just test fitting it, seeing how it's all looking, highlighting up all the gold. Got to highlight these things here now, these skulls. Test fitting that there. And all done. So the other details, I did the hair, again the same colors as the other ones. You can check my blog for all the paint listings on everything. As well as pictures, still images that I've shown you here. You'll be able to see these all on my blog. So it's kind of work my way around here. And in person, I think these look a little bit better than in these lights, because I'm trying to get even lighting here. I got a white background, but I think these will look quite nice on the tabletop. And that's one of the reasons why I spent the time to airbrush all these Dark Eldar vehicles. I think that in a Dark Eldar army, because almost everything's in transport, it's a very mechanized list, it's important that they all have a unified look, and so spending the time to airbrush them, lots of smooth curving surfaces, I definitely wouldn't be able to blend that by hand. So yeah, here's the other one. So you can see the different trophy racks and different canopy there. I used the this crystal clear, what's it called? Micro crystal clear glue. It's used for gluing model canopies. So it's like a white glue. I don't know if it's any different than normal white glue, but put it around the edge and put it in there. If you use super glue, you'll get that haze sort of thing, and you can get some, if you're using plastic glue, well, that's not going to work on painted parts, and you can also get that all over everything with your fingers. So this went on quite nicely, and I don't know how durable it's going to be, but glued everything quite nice, and it looks good, so we'll see how that turns out. The other thing to mention, I didn't do any extra line highlighting on any of these panels. I didn't draw anything else on there. However, I did shade all the deep lines there, just a really fine brush with some of the Newland oil. Made sure it was a nice thick layer of Newland oil so it went nice and opaque. And I guess with these witches that didn't have the Cabalite Warriors, I got these blue combat drug tubes all over the place, as well as their canister at the bottom. Okay, and so here's some overall pictures. Down there you can kind of see how the different airbrushing works out. And that's not really in focus. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out my blog for more pictures and for the list of paints. And make sure you subscribe and comment if you have any questions. See you next time.